Good morning. My name is Regan. I'm a photographer. I live in Oklahoma City. Today, I'm gonna show you how I take Instagram self-portraits at home, the most over-the-top extreme selfies. I'm gonna show you how I do it. How I turn this into this. We got a long way to go. Okay, I'm not gonna lie, I gained some weight recently, so most of my clothes don't fit anymore. You love it. But this still does, and it's got this kind of sparkly, glittery fabric. So I think we're going to go for a kind of ethereal, celestial theme. Let's go. You wanna be in the photo shoot? The way I shoot my self-portraits is I put my camera on a tripod. If you don't have one, that's okay. You can just put it on some books, but it makes it a lot easier if you use a tripod. Or I used to just put my camera on a light stand and screw it on top, but then you can't articulate or adjust the angle or anything, but that's also another option. Then what I really do, what's my big, smashing, amazing difference, is I use my phone to see myself in the live view, how I look while I'm posing, and then I use that to trigger the camera as well. I think most modern cameras have this option. That's my cat. I think most modern cameras have this option to trigger it remotely, but if not, you can use self-timer and that works as well. It's just a lot easier to trigger it with a remote, like Bluetooth, or with your phone. Easy. Makes it so much faster. On the camera that I'm using, you just go to the menu and choose Control with Smartphone. From there, you can control the camera completely on your phone using an app called Imaging Edge. From that app, you can see the live view to see exactly what you look like in the camera, and you can trigger the shutter remotely this way too. I usually set it on a 2-second timer so that I have enough time to put the phone to the side before the picture takes.
Spot in the shade, pink lemonade, pink lemonade. Everything is going my way, pink lemonade, pink lemonade. I take a sipping on the heaven.
I decided to grab a reflector and balance it against a light stand. The goal of this is to bounce light into my face from the window behind me. My face just looked a little bit too dark in comparison, so this helps brighten up my face in the final image. I still wasn't happy with how the images were looking. They were just a little too crisp, so I grabbed a Ziploc bag to give a hazy effect to the images that I was shooting. This is kind of what it looks like.
Everything is A-okay. Find a little spot in the shade, sipping.
Then I wanted to add in some more color to make it look ethereal, so I grabbed some color filters that I use for flashes and put those around the lens. All of these small things are just used to modify the image you get out of the camera so that you don't need to do as much editing in Photoshop or Lightroom later.
I know what to do.
I'm really sweating it up. It is hot in the sunshine. So now I'm just gonna put these onto my computer. When you shoot them on your phone, at least with Sony, they do go into their own album already. So you can see all of these that I shot on my phone now. So I could edit them just directly on my phone in Lightroom Mobile, but I'm just gonna do it on my computer because that's easier. There we are. So then quickly I just go through and look at the ones that I like the most. Do this one. So then we go into editing. What I usually start with, exposure is great on this, love it, is I go into curves and I will play around with that. Cool. Okay, now let's go to our colors. This is my favorite down here, color mixer. So you typically are working with red, orange, and yellow when you're working with skin tones. And then I also like to play around with color and point curve because you have this red curve. So if you pull it towards the top, those colors will become red. And if you pull it towards the bottom, those become cyan. You have the green curve with green and magenta. And then you have the blue curve with yellow and blues. So like, for example, if I drag this, the midtones become blue, but if I drag it here, they become yellow. And they'll become red or cyan. And then you can do magenta or green. Obviously this works best if you're just doing like small changes. So I might come down and make the highlights a little like yellow. And then shift the shadows towards some blue maybe. Now here's one of my favorite tricks. So I come over here and I drag a gradient, and then you can see that I can control exposure. But what I love using this with is the hue. Oh, this is what I'm looking for, colorize. Let's make a more wonderful gradient down here. There we go, I think that's the picture. Okay, wow, love that. So what you can do is you can copy your settings, go back to your other photos, paste them. Ooh, like that. Let's do a little split tones. So for the shadows, let's do like a bluish color. And for the highlights, let's do a greeny yellow. Ooh, very cinematic. I love this. I love it. Ooh, this is pretty. OMG, we love it. Okay, that's it for today, guys. These are our final pictures. I think they are super pretty. I'm really impressed. I wanted something very ethereal and graceful, so we used the plastic bag to get that kind of blurry, hazy look. And then we put some filters. You could also do this with some fabric or colored paper even to get that kind of hazy edge. I showed you how I edited them, and that's it for today. If you want to see more behind the scenes, how to shoot Instagram photos at home, or how to do, make your own home studio, let me know down in the comments below, and make sure to sign up for my newsletter so you don't miss a beat. That's it. Comment below with other videos you'd like to see. Make sure to subscribe and hit the thumbs up if you liked today's video. That is super, super helpful. I will see you in the next one. Bye, guys.